Welcome everybody to the Gaming Corner. My name is Matt, and today this episode is going to be brought to you by Respawn Retro Gaming up in Fond du Lac. Now today, the reason why I'm saying it's being brought to you from them is I went up there today to Fond du Lac store and I picked up a couple games that I've been looking at, and Tony up at Respawn had a mystery bag ready for me. So we got that too. So let's first start off with showing you what trades came in. I am, like I said, I do run a little behind on these sometimes, work and all that, tired, I am human. But Tony had some trades up in the Fond du Lac store, so we'll show those first. And Christina had some down in the West Bend store, which I had to ask Tony if he could get one of the games brought on up for me, because it is one I am definitely after. So let's go to that footage real quick and show you guys what games are there, and I'll explain to you which ones I'm looking at. Alright, so here inside Tony's store up in Fond du Lac, we're looking at the Nessa games that he has stacked up in the backpack there. One of them I'm really after, but I did not see when I was in there because I didn't look that hard at that point, would be Double Dragon. I want to compare that one against the Master System, because I've always thought the Master System was more of a superior version of that game. Other great games in his list: 1942, Commando, Operation Wolf, Jackal. I mean, that's just to name a few of them that are really good in that list. Then we're looking at the Super NES, Mickey Mania. That game is well worth the money. He's also got Batman sitting there. He's got RoboCop versus Terminator. I want to get that one on the Super NES and the Genesis and compare those two. Top Gear is another great one. It's a great racing game. It just got a re-release on Steam, the Xboxes, the PlayStations, in a nice variety pack, which is really nice. There is one game he has up there, Lethal Enforcers. Now that is one, I love the game, love the arcade version of that game and all that. That is one that I personally would say if you have a CRT TV and you have the Justifier light gun, it is well worth it. You can play it without the light gun. It does work with a controller. You just got to move a little cursor around and shoot stuff. But the game feels so much better with the light gun on a CRT. Alright, so now here we are down at Christina's store, the one that she runs in West Bend. And on this first slide here, you can never argue with the top three games: Super Mario Bros. 2, 3, and Zelda. You can't argue with those. If she still has the Punch-Out game, I'm going to probably look at picking that one up a bit later. I don't really need it to say Mike Tyson on it. And again, you can't argue with Tetris. And then she also has the Jackal game too. And that. So those are also very good. And then we have, in the next slide here, she has Burger Time up there. Gauntlet, however you say it the way you want. Then Excitebike. Now I got the Japanese version of Excitebike. I would like to get the American one too. Rad Racer is also really great. Never played or heard of Rad Racer 2. Battle Master. Now there you go. That's one to go and get. It just got a Bart Simpson game up there too. Some really great picks to go after for the Nessa. Got one more slide for that yet, so hold on. And here is the slide with the game that I want to get. So I did ask Tony if he could have this one shipped up here to me up in Fond du Lac, and I'll buy it up here. But that is one that I traded for with him before, because I had the 5-screw variant. And to me, those 5-screw variants don't make any sense. But you can make some money on them. So I traded him my Alpha Mission. And I thought he had the 3-screw variant there at the time, but he did not. But now we got the 3-screw in. He gets it up there, and I will definitely buy that one because that is a very fun game. And I heard that Dodgeball on the Nessa is a blast. Once I get a chance to get back down to West Bend to check out that store, Tiny Toon Adventures is there when I have the money. That's when I'll be getting. The Immortal has me intrigued. I didn't know it was on the Nessa. I know it's on the Genesis. And it's a gory game on the Genesis, so I'm curious how the 8-bit Nessa version would be. Oh, and I just realized something. That's Metal Gear, the first Metal Gear. How can you go wrong with that game? Alright, and here's another Nessa slide. Now, I have Top Gun, and I actually like it. I think the game is pretty neat. As for some of these other ones in here, if I'd be looking at grabbing any of these ones, it would be Millipede for me. And I heard Skate or Die isn't too bad. I could be wrong on that one, though, but I had heard it wasn't bad. But pretty much, I'd be almost looking at anything in here. That Dino game up there, I mean, I'm just trying to build up a collection of some great games, so I got stuff to play. But I do know Millipede would be a good one to grab. She also got in some great PlayStation games down there. I mean, this list you see here, she's got 2 Crash games in there, an RPG Maker, which I'd be curious to check that out, Ace Combat 2, which I do need to get my hands on that one, King of Fighters 99, that is a great fighting game. I've never played that Fatal Fury one that's there, but that'd be one that I would look into. Price-wise, I got another game that I'm looking at that's high price, so I got to hold off on buying a lot of high-price games. Then I've heard that the NFL Game Days, the one that Sony did, were really good back in the day compared to Madden, so I really need to check out some of those. On this last slide here, I already know the game in the back she sold off already. That would be one I would love to get my hands on, but the price is extremely steep for that one, which I knew already. But Lunar, the Silver Star, the complete story, actually that's Lunar 2, my fault, Eternal Blue, the complete story, that would be one hell of a PlayStation game to grab. To have the original in that nice, that big, beautiful box right there, oh, that'd be nice. And then the original Silent Hill. I'm sure everybody has heard really great things about that game. I've never actually played it. I would be willing to, pick it up one of these days depending on price. But Lunar has already been sold. So when you see this video, just realize Lunar 2 was sold already. I do not know about Silent Hill though. And that is it for the trades that both stores got in. So we will head back to our video of the pickups I got from there. All right, welcome back. Now let's change focus from there to the pickups. We will do the mystery bag in a minute. I'm curious on what's in there. But first of all, let's start with the pickups. We're going to start off the pickups with a game that I thought I had already in my Xbox 360 collection. It was the main reason why I was heading up there that day. Tony was holding a few things for me yet, but I needed to get this game back in the collection, especially since the 360 store is closed now. And that is Gears of War 2. Now, I do own the digital version of this, which is what I play on my Xbox Series X. When I want to play it on 360, I'll throw this in instead so I can have my hard drive space saved. But I could have swore I had this already. And after this mess you're about to see that my little grandson did, I found out I didn't have this. So I went up to his store, found it, grabbed it. It is complete in box, so now I have it. So I will thank my grandson for making the huge mess that he made, because it showed me I didn't have this one, which I thought I did. Now we're going to throw our attention over to the PlayStation 3. These games were were they remastered? I don't know, but they were released on the Xbox Series, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PlayStation. They were re-released again. I believe they did some sort of updates to them. I know on the PC you can go to a higher frame rate and it looks really good. But it is part of the Ninja Gaiden series, and this is Ninja Gaiden Sigma on the PlayStation 3. Now this is the version that they used in the re-release or update, or however you want to call it. It is this version of the game that they did, not Ninja Gaiden Black. Everybody says Ninja Gaiden Black is better. I personally haven't really seen any major difference. I think people say this one's easier. I haven't seen a difference. Love the game no matter which way it goes. This game is a lot of fun. The PlayStation 3, as most of you know, I'm not a fan of the PlayStation 3 controller, so I did buy the Retro Fighters PlayStation controller. That thing is amazing. And yeah, I really enjoy this game a lot. I did buy Ninja Gaiden on the Xbox, on the OG Xbox, not the black version. I'm still going to get my hands on that one. But gotta have the Ninja Gaiden series. Alright, the next thing in the list. Now, this one that I saw he had there, and I've been dying to get my hands on. I'm hoping it's going to work on my Retron for the Nintendo. I don't know if it will. If it doesn't, then I'm going to have to look into buying a Super Nintendo from them. But I've always been wanting to get my hands on one of these. I do not own a Game Boy. I've never owned a Game Boy. I want to play Game Boy games. It would be nice to play them on the big screen, especially with how bad my eyes are. He had this there. I had to grab it. So when I went up there today to pick this up, I told him I need Game Boy games. I don't have any. I don't know anything about them. What do you know? The only thing I know for Game Boy is you need Tetris. You can't have a Game Boy without Tetris. You have to have Tetris if you have a Game Boy. That much I know. So, like I said, you got to have Tetris. You get a Game Boy, you have to have Tetris. You have to. That's where it started. And then we were looking at a couple other games, and we were talking about, he had a Super Mario there. He had a Mario Golf game and all that. He has a Bugs Bunny one there, which I'm still going to get the Bugs Bunny one. But we both decided on something that might not be all that fun, might not be all that good, or who knows. I've never played it, so I won't have a clue. I got the Muppets. I had to get the Muppets. I hope I can play as Animal, because he's my favorite Muppet. As you can tell, I haven't put any gameplay footage up, so I don't even know if this all works yet. When the gameplay footage pops up, you'll know. But yeah, the Muppets. I'll have nothing really to say about this game during the gameplay at this point, but if it works, you'll see it in this video too. Alright, that was it for the pickups from there. Stay tuned for the next video. That's going to be that mystery bag. Alright, just a quick little update here before we go to the next video. As you can see in that video that just happened, the Muppets game did not work. It gave me a thing on that title screen there saying it needs to be in an actual Game Boy Color. So, you know, can't try out the Muppet game. But I could look at, you know, taking the game back, switching out for something else. I'm not going to do that. I want to keep the Muppet game because I like the Muppets. So I'm going to get a Game Boy Color, or I'm going to check out if the Retron 5 can do Game Boy Color games. If it can, then I'm going to get the Retron 5 and see if it works in that. But other than that, let's get over to video number 2. Thank you guys for watching this one.